4 kidnapped women fought to the death in an underground arena in the desert near Dubai, in front of 80 millionaires who paid $500,000 a year for the right to watch the killings and place bets, until 2 survivors escaped and made their way to the road after a shootout with security guards. Ana Koval had been working as a massage therapist at one of Dubai's spas for the past 3 years. She was 28 years old and originally from Kiev. She came to the Emirates on a work visa in 2022. Her salary was about $2,000 a month plus tips. She rented a room in the Deira district with 2 other Ukrainian women. She sent money home to her mother every month. The spa was located in a shopping center and had a mixed clientele: locals, expats, and tourists. Ana specialized in Thai massage and deep tissue techniques. She worked 6 days a week from 9 in the morning until 8 in the evening. In her free time, she went to the gym and did kickboxing to stay in shape. She had few friends. She mainly socialized with her colleagues and fellow countrymen. In early October 2025, a new client approached her. The man, about 45 years old, introduced himself as Karim. He requested a massage at his home. Such requests were common. The spa center provided outcall services for an additional fee. Karim said he lived in a villa in the Jumeirah area and was willing to pay $300 for a 90-minute session. That was twice the standard price. Ana agreed. She arrived by taxi at the address on the evening of October 15th. The villa was typical for the area, a 2-story house with a garden. Karim opened the door and led her into a room on the first floor. The massage table was already set up. Ana began her work. 20 minutes later, she felt dizzy. She tried to say that she wasn't feeling well, but her tongue wouldn't obey her. She fell to the floor. She lost consciousness. She woke up in a metal cage. It was 2 meters by 2 meters. There was a bare concrete floor, a single thin blanket, and a plastic bucket in the corner. The light was dim, coming from a lamp on the ceiling of the hallway. Her head hurt, and she felt nauseous. Ana got up and tried to open the cage door. It was locked from the outside. She shouted, but no one answered. A few minutes later, she heard voices. She looked to her right. A young Filipino woman was sitting in the neighboring cage. She was crying, her arms wrapped around her knees. Ana asked in English what was going on. The girl looked up and said she didn't know. She said her name was Maria and that she had been working as a maid in a hotel. Yesterday, she had gone out on her day off to buy groceries, and someone had grabbed her in the parking lot and covered her face with a cloth that smelled of chemicals. She had woken up here. Ana looked around more carefully. The corridor was long, with metal cages on both sides. Some of them contained women. Ana counted 2 more. One was dark-skinned, about 30 years old, sitting silently, leaning against the wall. The other was European, with light hair, lying on the floor, seemingly unconscious. Ana tried to figure out where she was. The walls were concrete, the ceiling was low, about 2.5 meters high. The air was stuffy and smelled musty and chemical. There were no windows, so it was an underground room. There were no sounds from outside. Complete silence, except for the breathing of the women in the cages. An hour later, a man appeared. He was of average height, dark-skinned, with black hair. He spoke with an accent, possibly Pakistani or Indian. He walked down the corridor, stopping at each cage, throwing in a bottle of water and a bag of food. Ana caught his eye and asked what they needed, why they were being kept there. The man did not answer. He continued to distribute food and left. The next 2 days passed in uncertainty. The women were brought food 3 times a day. Water. Once a day, they were taken to the toilet under the escort of 2 guards. They were forbidden to talk, and any attempts to communicate were met with electric shocks. Ana tried to understand the logic. They were being kept like animals in cages. They were fed well, with large portions. That meant they wanted them to be in good shape. But why? On the 3rd day, Another woman was brought in. She was a 26-year-old Romanian who introduced herself as Jessica. She had been working as a dancer in a nightclub in Dubai. She had been kidnapped right from the club after her shift. She went out to the car. Someone hit her on the back of the head. She woke up in a cage. Jessica was in a panic, screaming, demanding to be let out. The guards hit her with a stun gun several times. She quieted down. The fourth was an Ethiopian woman named Lena, 31 years old. She worked as a waitress in a restaurant. She was kidnapped on her way home late at night. Lena was bigger than the others, tall and athletic. She remained calm and didn't cry. She looked at the guards intently, as if assessing them. On the fourth day, the same man who had handed out food came in. He stood in the middle of the corridor so that everyone could see and hear him. He said his name was Rashid and that he ran this place. He explained that the women were in a private sports complex in the desert outside the city. No one was looking for them. No one would find them. They had a choice: participate in the program and get a chance at freedom and money, or refuse and die of hunger in a cage. The program was simple. The women would fight each other, hand-to-hand combat, one-on-one. The fight would continue until one of the participants died. Weapons were prohibited. Only hands and feet were allowed. The winner of each fight would live. The final winner would receive $1 million in cash and a helicopter ride to any country of her choice. No questions asked, no prosecution. Refusal to participate means death. There is no choice. The women listened in shock. Maria started screaming that this was madness, that it couldn't be done. Rashid approached her cage and hit her through the bars with a stun gun. Maria fell, writhing in pain. Rashid said that the rules had already been set. Arguing was useless. They had 2 weeks to prepare. Then the fights would begin. The next 14 days were spent in a training camp. The women were let out of their cages twice a day for 2 hours. They were herded into a gym located in the next room. They were forced to do push-ups, squats, and run in place. They were taught basic strikes and holds. 2 trainers, both of whom looked like former fighters, demonstrated the techniques. If anyone refused to train, they were shocked with a stun gun. They were fed generously: chicken, rice, vegetables, fruit, lots of protein and carbohydrates. The goal was obvious: to get them physically ready for combat. Anna understood that resistance was futile. She had to play by their rules and wait for an opportunity. She trained hard. She used her experience from kickboxing. Maria cried during training, but did the exercises. Jessica was fast and flexible. Dancing had given her good coordination. Lena was the strongest. Her punches were powerful. Rashid sometimes came to watch the training sessions. He evaluated the women and took notes in his notebook. Once he said that the first fight would be in 3 days. Maria against Lena, Anna against Jessica. 2 pairs. The winners would meet in the final. The women realized that time was up. Anna tried to talk to the others when the guards weren't around. She suggested they team up and attack the guards together. Lena shook her head. She said there were at least 6 guards, all armed. There was no chance. Maria just cried. Jessica said she would try not to kill Anna if she fought her. Maybe just knock them out. Anna replied that it wouldn't work that way. If the opponent wasn't dead, the fight wouldn't be over. The rules were clear. The day before the first fight, the women were shown a video. Rashid brought a tablet and played the recording. The screen showed an arena similar to an octagon for mixed martial arts. It was 10 by 10 meters, fenced in with a net. Around it were stands filled with men in expensive suits. 2 women were fighting in the arena, an African and an Asian. The fight was brutal, without rules. Blows to the head, chokeholds. 15 minutes later, the African broke the Asian's neck. She fell and did not get up, dead. The men in the stands applauded. Rashid turned off the video. He said that every fight looks like this. The audience expects a spectacle. Those who do not provide a spectacle will be punished after the fight, even if they win. Women need to fight for real. Any imitation will be noticed. The consequences will be worse than death in the arena. Anna didn't sleep all night before the fight. She thought about what would happen tomorrow. She had to kill Jessica, or Jessica would kill her. There was no third option. Anna tried to prepare herself mentally. She told herself that it was a matter of survival, that she had a mother at home who needed her, that she wasn't to blame for this situation, that Jessica wasn't to blame either, but only one of them could survive. In the morning, they were fed for the last time before the fights. Then they were led down a long corridor. They turned several corners and descended even deeper down the stairs. They came out into a large room. It was the arena. The octagon stood in the center. Around it were 3 rows of stands. Bright lights were directed at the arena. The stands were empty for now. The women were taken to the locker room. They were given sportswear, shorts and a top. No shoes, barefoot, no bandages on their hands, nothing but their bodies. An hour later, the spectators began to arrive. Anna looked through a crack in the locker room door. Men in expensive suits, average age around 50, different nationalities, Arabs, Europeans, Asians. They sat in the stands, talked, laughed. Waiters in white shirts served drinks. The atmosphere was like a social event, not a deadly fight. Rashid entered the dressing room. He said the first fight would start in 10 minutes. Maria against Lena. He brought both women out. Maria was trembling all over. Lena walked calmly, her face emotionless. They were led into the arena and placed in opposite corners of the octagon. Rashid took the microphone and announced the start of the evening. He introduced the fighters. He explained the rules. The fight would continue until one of the participants died. No rounds, no breaks. The gong sounded. The fight began. Lena moved forward immediately. Maria tried to dodge, retreating to the fence. Lena caught up with her, grabbed her by the hair, and kneed her in the stomach. Maria doubled over in pain. Lena elbowed her in the face. Blood gushed from Maria's nose. She fell to the floor of the arena. Lena didn't stop. She sat on top of her and began punching her in the face. Maria tried to cover her face with her hands, but the blows kept coming. Her face was turning into a bloody mess. The spectators in the stands shouted and cheered. Some gestured with their hands, signaling her to continue. 15 minutes later, Maria stopped moving. Lena stood up and walked away. Rashid entered the arena and checked Maria's pulse. He announced that she was dead. Lena had won. The spectators applauded. Someone whistled. Security guards entered and carried Maria's body away. Lena was taken back to the locker room. Anna watched all this through a crack. In half an hour, it would be her turn. She would have to do the same thing to Jessica, or Jessica would do it to her. Rashid came in and said it was time. He led Anna and Jessica into the arena. He placed them in the corners of the octagon. He repeated the rules. The gong sounded again. Anna and Jessica started cautiously. They both moved in circles, keeping their distance, studying each other. The spectators in the stands shouted, demanding action. Jessica was the first to attack. A quick kick to the body. Anna blocked with her forearm and responded with a straight punch to the face. She hit her cheekbone. Jessica stepped back and rubbed the spot where she was hit. The next 5 minutes were an exchange of blows. Jessica was faster, her technique based on dodges and quick counterattacks. Anna was heavier, her punches were stronger. Each was looking for a weak spot in her opponent's defense. Both understood that they couldn't drag it out. Their strength was not infinite, and the audience was losing interest in a technical fight. They wanted blood. In the 7th minute, Jessica made a mistake. She tried to deliver a high kick to the head. Anna managed to catch her leg and pull her toward herself. Jessica lost her balance and fell on her back. Anna rushed on top of her and put her in a chokehold from behind. Her arms wrapped around Jessica's neck, squeezing her arteries. Jessica tried to break free. She scratched Anna's hands, writhed, and tried to roll over, but her position was disadvantageous. She couldn't breathe. After 30 seconds, her movements became weaker. Jessica's face turned red, then blue. Her eyes rolled back. Her body went limp. Anna continued to hold her grip. She counted in her head. 60 seconds. 90. 120. She made sure Jessica wasn't breathing. Only then did she let go. She stood up. She looked at the body. Jessica lay motionless, her eyes open, staring at the ceiling. Dead. The audience applauded. Some stood up. Rashid entered the arena and raised Anna's hand. He declared her the winner of the first fight. Anna looked at the stands. She saw the faces of the men. Excitement, thrill, satisfaction. As if they had just watched a good movie. Not people to them, just entertainment. The guards carried Jessica's body away. Anna was taken back to the locker room. They gave her water and a towel. Rashid came in 10 minutes later. He said she had done well. The final fight would be in a week, against Lena. The winner would receive $1 million and freedom. Anna nodded silently. She was returned to her cage. Lena was sitting in the one next to hers. She looked at Anna. She said in English that now they were opponents. Anna replied that they always had been. Lena agreed. She added that she held no grudges. Everyone wanted to survive. It was logical. The following week, both women prepared for the final. They trained separately. Rashid brought in specialists in various martial arts. A former boxer, a wrestler, a Muay Thai coach. Each worked with the women for 2 hours a day. They taught finishing moves, how to quickly break limbs, how to properly perform a chokehold, how to deliver a fatal blow. Anna used this time not only for training. She observed. She studied the security regime. She counted the number of guards. She memorized the time of the guard change. She looked at the location of the cameras in the corridors. She looked for weak spots in the security system. She noticed several things. There were 6 guards on the day shift and 4 at night. The shift change took place at 3 in the morning. For 15 minutes, only 2 remained. One at the entrance to the cell block, the other patrolling the corridors. There were cameras in most places, but there were blind spots. One section of the corridor near the stairs was not visible. Another was near the storage room. The keys to the cells hung on the belt of the guard on duty. 2 of the 6 had guns. The rest carried stun guns and batons. The armory was located on the first level, near the entrance. Automatic weapons and shotguns were stored there. But it was always locked, and only Rashid had access to it. Anna understood. She had one chance. If she tried to escape and failed, there would be no second chance. She had to act after the final fight. If she won, the guards would relax. They would think she would take the money and leave. They would not expect her to try to escape. But first, she had to survive the fight with Lena. Anna knew that Lena was physically stronger. She had a 10-kilogram weight advantage. Her punches were more powerful. Her endurance was better. Anna had the advantage in technique and speed. She had to use that. She couldn't get into a power struggle. She had to keep her distance, work with her punches, and wear her opponent down. The day of the final had arrived. There were more spectators than last time. All 80 seats were filled. The atmosphere was festive. The men drank expensive alcohol, talked loudly, and placed bets. Anna heard the numbers. Someone bet $50,000 on Lena. Another bet $100,000 on Anna. The odds were almost equal. Rashid entered the arena with a microphone. He announced the final fight of the evening. He introduced Lena as the winner of the first fight, strong and ruthless. Then Anna as skilled and cool-headed. He said that the winner would receive $1 million in cash and a helicopter to anywhere in the world. The loser would die in this arena. The women were led into the octagon. They were placed in the corners. Lena looked calm. Anna controlled her breathing and concentrated. Rashid raised his hand and lowered it. Gong. Lena went on the attack right away. A powerful right punch to the body. Anna dodged to the right and responded with a quick combination to the head. 2 jabs, a hook. Lena blocked the first 2. The third hit her temple. She took a step back. The next 10 minutes were an exchange of blows. Lena pressed, trying to close the distance and drive her into the corner. Anna worked on the retreat, holding the center of the octagon, not letting herself be pushed against the fence. The punches were precise, like those of a sniper. Lena landed more hits, but they were not critical. Her punches were heavier, but she landed them less often. In the 12th minute, Lena caught Anna in a clinch. She pressed her against the fence and began to work her knees into her body. 3 blows landed in her ribs. Anna felt a sharp pain, possibly a fracture. She pushed Lena away and broke out of the clinch. She began to limp on her left leg. Lena saw her weakness and went in for the kill, but it was a trap. When Lena got close, Anna delivered a side kick with her right leg to the knee. The blow was strong and accurate. A crunch. Lena screamed and collapsed onto one knee. The joint was damaged. Anna didn't give her time to recover. A side kick to the head. Lena fell on her side. Anna threw herself on top of her. She started punching her in the face. Lena tried to defend herself, to block with her hands. But the position was hopeless. The blows kept coming. Her nose was broken, her lip was split, her eyebrow was cut. Blood flooded her face. Lena jerked sharply and threw Anna off. Both ended up on the floor. They rolled toward the fence. Lena tried to choke her from behind, but her injured knee prevented her from locking her position. Anna twisted out and ended up on top again. 20 minutes into the fight, both were exhausted. Their breathing was heavy, their movements slower. Lena was still resisting, but her strength was fading. The knee injury made her mobility 0. Anna knew she had to finish it. She applied a chokehold from behind. Her arms wrapped around Lena's neck and squeezed. Lena gasped, trying to breathe. She scratched Anna's hands and writhed. But there wasn't enough oxygen. After 40 seconds, her movements became weaker. Her face turned blue. Her eyes began to close. Her body went limp. Anna held the hold for another 2 minutes. She made sure that her breathing had stopped. There was no pulse. Only then did she let go. She stood up. She looked at Lena's body. The third woman who had died because of this madness. Maria, Jessica, Lena, all dead. She was the only survivor. The audience erupted in applause, a standing ovation. Rashid entered the arena and raised Anna's hand. He declared her the absolute winner. He said that in an hour she would be given $1 million and taken to the helipad. Anna nodded. She played the role of a grateful winner. She was taken to the locker room. She was given a hot shower, clean clothes, and medical attention. The doctor examined her ribs and said that there was a crack, but it was not critical. He bandaged her chest with an elastic bandage. He gave her painkillers. An hour later, Rashid brought a black sports bag. He opened the zipper. Inside were stacks of dollar bills, hundreds. He said there was exactly $1 million. You can count it. Anna shook her head. She said she would take his word for it. Rashid smiled. He added that the helicopter was ready. Where did she want to fly? Anna said to Europe. To Switzerland. Rashid nodded. He said it was no problem. But first they would return to the cell block. She would spend her last night there. In the morning, she would be taken to the helipad. It was too late to fly now. It was safer during the day. Anna was returned to her cell. The bag with the money was placed next to her. She was given food and water. Rashid left. The guards remained on duty. Anna lay down on the floor of the cell and closed her eyes. She pretended to be asleep. She waited. The hours passed slowly. At midnight, the guards changed shifts. 4 night guards took over. 2 left to patrol other levels of the complex. 2 remained in the cell block. 1 sat at the entrance. The other checked the cameras in the surveillance room at the end of the corridor. At 2 in the morning, the guards began to doze off. The one at the entrance leaned his head back on the chair. His eyes were closed. The second one in the surveillance room was looking at his phone, distracted. Anna opened her eyes. It was time. At 3 o'clock, the guard shift began. The day guards went upstairs. The night guards remained. For 15 minutes, there were only 2 people in the block. Anna stood up in her cell. She began to moan quietly, clutching her stomach. She pretended to be ill. The guard at the entrance opened his eyes. He looked at her. He asked what was wrong. Anna said she had severe pain in her side, probably her ribs. She needed a doctor. The guard approached the cage and looked more closely. Anna fell to her knees and clutched her chest. The guard took out his radio and was about to call a medic. At that moment, Anna shot her arm through the bars of the cage. She grabbed the guard's wrist with the radio. She pulled him toward her with all her might. The guard wasn't expecting it and slammed his face into the metal bars. His nose was broken and blood gushed out. Anna didn't let go. With her other hand, she reached for his belt and found his keys. She jerked his arm, and the keys were in her hand. The guard tried to break free, but Anna held him in a death grip. He pulled the stun gun from his belt and tried to reach through the bars. Anna let go of his hand and jumped back into the cage. The guard hit the bars with the stun gun, but the charge hit the metal. Sparks flew, but Anna was unharmed. Anna quickly unlocked the cage. Her hands were shaking, but the key turned. Click. The door was open. The guard turned around, ran to the exit, shouted into his radio, calling for help. Anna jumped out of the cage and caught up with him in 3 strides. She jumped on his back. Her arms wrapped around his neck, her legs wrapped around his torso. A chokehold. The guard tried to throw her off, twisting and thrashing against the wall, but her technique was correct. Anna held on tight. After 30 seconds, the guard began to weaken. He fell to his knees. A minute later, he lost consciousness. Anna held on for another 20 seconds. Then she let go. The guard fell face down, not breathing, dead. Anna took his gun from his belt, a Glock 17 caliber. She checked the magazine. 17 rounds. She took the stun gun, the keys, the radio. She heard footsteps in the hallway. The second guard was running toward the noise. She hid around the corner. The guard ran out and saw his colleague's body on the floor. He stopped and began to look around. Anna came out from behind him. She hit him in the back of the head with the butt of the pistol. The guard fell. Anna hit him twice more. His skull cracked. He stopped moving. Anna returned to the cell block. She saw 6 more women sitting in the neighboring cells, a new batch for future fights. They looked at her with hope and fear. Anna unlocked all the cells with her keys. She quickly said in English that they were running away. Whoever wanted to live should follow her. Whoever stayed would die here. 5 women came out of the cells. 1 remained. She sat in the corner, hugging her knees, rocking back and forth. Anna didn't waste any time. She led the others to the exit. On the way, she explained that there were guards upstairs. They had to move quickly and quietly. If shooting started, they had to scatter in different directions. They climbed the stairs to the first level. The corridor was empty. Anna led the way with her pistol. The women followed her. They passed the security guard's break room. The door was ajar. Inside, a guard was snoring on the sofa. The TV was on with the sound turned off. They reached the armory. The door was locked with an electronic code lock. Anna tried to remember if she had ever seen the guards open it. She couldn't remember. One of the women, a tall Asian woman, whispered that she had seen the code 3 days ago when she was taken to the bathroom. 4 digits, 7, 3, 1, 9. Anna typed them into the panel. A green light came on. The door opened. Inside were 6 AK-47 assault rifles on a rack, 4 shotguns, boxes of ammunition, body armor. Anna took 1 assault rifle and checked it. The magazine was full, 30 rounds. She gave 2 shotguns to the women. She showed them how to remove the safety catch. She told them to shoot only if they had no other choice. They left the armory. They walked another 20 meters down the corridor. Ahead was a staircase leading to the surface. A guard stood at the foot of the stairs. His back was turned to them, and he was looking at his phone. Anna crept up behind him. She hit him in the head with the butt of her rifle. The guard collapsed without a sound. They climbed the stairs. At the top was a metal door. Anna pushed it. It was locked from the inside with a bolt. She opened the bolt. She pushed again. The door opened. They went outside. It was night. Desert. Bright stars in the black sky. The temperature had dropped to 15 degrees. The wind was cold. The women in light clothing began to shiver. Anna looked around. The building complex looked like an ordinary warehouse. One story, gray walls, no windows, sand and rocks all around, not a single building in sight. 4 SUVs were parked nearby, Toyota Land Cruisers. Anna ran to the nearest one. She looked inside. No keys. She tried the others. Same story everywhere. The keys were with the guards. She heard a shout behind her. She turned around. A guard with an automatic rifle was standing in the doorway of the building. He opened fire. Anna managed to dive behind the car. The bullets hit the metal. 2 women did not have time to take cover. They fell, riddled with bullets. The rest scattered, hiding behind cars and barrels. Anna peeked out and fired a short burst. She hit the doorway. The guard retreated inside. Anna shouted to the women to run into the desert, not to wait for her, to run north. There should be a road there. The 3 women ran out from behind their cover and into the darkness. Anna covered them with fire. She fired short bursts toward the building. The guards inside responded. Bullets whistled through the air. One of the women stumbled and fell. She got up and ran on. She disappeared into the darkness. Anna waited until the others had disappeared. She turned around and ran after them. She heard the guards shouting behind her. Gunshots. Bullets hit the sand next to her. She ran without looking back. After 100 meters, the shots stopped. It was too dark to see their target. She ran for another 10 minutes. She stopped and looked around. There was only desert around her. No one was in sight. She called quietly to the other women. No one answered. She moved on. She kept heading north by the stars. The North Star was ahead. She would go toward it. Half an hour later, she saw a silhouette ahead. She moved closer. 2 women were sitting on the ground. One was holding her leg, limping. She said she had sprained her ankle. She couldn't walk fast. Anna helped her up and supported her by the arm. The 3 of them walked on. An hour later, she caught up with the 4th woman. She was Asian and knew the code to the armory. She was walking alone and holding up well. They joined forces. Now there were 4 of them. 2 women had been killed near the building. 1 remained in the cage. 1 had disappeared in the darkness. They walked all night. At dawn, they reached the crest of the hill. Below, they saw a road. Asphalt, a 2-lane highway. No cars yet. They climbed down. They reached the side of the road. They sat down to rest. The sun was rising. It was getting hot. There was no water. Their lips began to crack. 1 woman with an ankle injury lay on the ground, unable to walk any further. The others sat and waited. An hour later, a car appeared. A white Toyota Camry. It was traveling from south to north. Anna stepped onto the road and waved her arms. The car slowed down and stopped 30 meters away. The driver did not get out. Anna approached. Behind the wheel sat a European man in his 50s with gray hair and a tanned face. He looked through the window warily. Anna knocked on the window. The man opened it 5 centimeters. He asked in English what had happened. Anna quickly explained. She said that they had escaped from illegal detention. They needed help. They needed to be taken to the police. The man looked at her, then at the other women. He saw the blood on their clothes, the abrasions, the bruises. He opened the door. He introduced himself as Peter, a tourist from the UK. He was traveling from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. He helped the women into the car. He asked where to take them. Anna said to the nearest police station. Peter nodded. He turned around and drove back south. He said it was 30 kilometers to the city. On the way, Anna told him the basics: the kidnapping, the underground arena, the deadly fights, the escape. Peter listened, shaking his head. He said it was unbelievable, but he believed her. It was too detailed to be made up. He promised to stay and be a witness when they got to the police station. They reached the city. Peter stopped at a police station in the Al-Barsha district. They went inside. The officer at the reception desk looked at the women in surprise. Anna said in English that she wanted to file a report about the kidnapping and illegal detention. The officer called his superior. A police lieutenant arrived. He was an Arab man in his 40s. He led them into an interrogation room. He sat down opposite them. He took out a notebook. He asked them to tell him everything from the beginning. Anna began to speak. She spoke slowly and in detail. The kidnapping on October 15th, waking up in a cage. The other women. Rashid. The explanation of the rules. The training. The fights to the death. Maria. Jessica. Lena. All killed. The escape at night. The murder of 2 guards. The liberation of the other women. The flight through the desert. The lieutenant took notes. He asked clarifying questions. Where was the compound located? Anna said she didn't know for sure. Somewhere in the desert, west or southwest of the city. They drove for about an hour after the kidnapping. How many guards were there? Anna said about 10, maybe more. Who organized it? Anna said the manager introduced himself as Rashid, but the main organizer did not give his name. She heard the guards mention the name Khaled. The lieutenant called someone. He spoke Arabic quickly. He hung up. He said an investigation would begin. They needed to show the approximate location of the complex on a map. Anna asked for a map. The lieutenant opened a satellite map of the region on his computer. Anna looked at it. She tried to remember the direction. She pointed to an area about 40 kilometers southwest of the city. She said something was there. The lieutenant made a note. He said he would send a patrol to check it out. Anna and the other women were taken to the hospital. They underwent a medical examination. Their injuries were recorded. DNA samples were taken. They photographed the injuries. Anna told the doctors about her broken ribs. They took an X-ray. They confirmed the fracture. They applied a tight bandage. In the evening, a senior police officer arrived at the hospital, a lieutenant colonel. He introduced himself as Ahmed Al-Maktoum. He said that the patrol had found the complex, a building in the desert at the coordinates Anna had given. They conducted a raid. They discovered an underground bunker, an arena, cages, an armory, the bodies of 2 guards on the first level, the bodies of 2 women on the surface. They detained 4 guards who remained on the premises. The rest fled. We found computers with recordings of fights, hundreds of hours of video, fights involving dozens of women. Everything was documented. In the desert near the complex, we found a mass grave, 11 bodies, all women, various stages of decomposition. An examination will determine the exact dates of death. The lieutenant colonel said that a list of club members had been found, 80 names. Among them were very influential people, members of royal families from the Persian Gulf countries, Russian businessmen, Chinese millionaires, European entrepreneurs. The investigation will be difficult. It will require international cooperation. 4 security guards have been detained. Interrogations will begin tomorrow. Manager Rashid has not yet been found. He has gone into hiding. A warrant has been issued for his arrest. The main organizer has been identified as Khaled ibn Sultan al-Nahyan, a 38-year-old member of one of the influential Emirati families, owner of several construction companies. His fortune is estimated at $200 million. He has also gone into hiding. A nationwide and international search is underway. Anna asked what would happen to them. The lieutenant colonel replied that they were witnesses and victims. They would remain under police protection until the investigation was complete. Then they would receive compensation from the state and assistance in moving to a safe place if they wanted to leave the country. A week later, Rashid was arrested. He was found in the port of Sharjah. He was trying to sail to Pakistan on a cargo ship. During a search, they found a passport under a different name and $500,000 in cash. He was taken to Dubai. The interrogations began. Rashid told everything. He testified against Khaled and other participants in the scheme. Khaled was caught 3 weeks later. He tried to fly to Switzerland on a private plane. He was detained at the airport. His documents, money, and phones were confiscated. On his phones, they found correspondence with club members, discussions of fights, bets, videos from mobile phones. There was plenty of evidence. The trial began. It was closed to the public. The media were not allowed in. Rashid received 25 years. 4 security guards received 15 years each. Khaled stood trial on charges of organizing kidnappings, unlawful deprivation of liberty, organizing murders, and human trafficking. The lawyers tried to negotiate a deal. They offered 30 years instead of life imprisonment. The prosecution refused. They demanded the maximum sentence. The trial lasted 4 months. The testimony of all the surviving women was heard. Video recordings of the fights were reviewed. The list of club members was examined. But the list was classified by order of the top leadership. Officially, this was done in the interests of national security. Unofficially, everyone understood. The list contained the names of people who could not be touched. Khaled's sentence: life imprisonment without the right to early release, confiscation of property, payment of compensation to the families of the deceased women. Khaled was taken to a maximum security prison. The case was formally closed. Anna and the 3 other surviving women each received $2 million in compensation. They were offered new documents and assistance with moving to Europe. Anna chose Poland. She had distant relatives there. She received a new passport under a different name. She left a month after the trial. The Asian woman who knew the code to the armory returned to the Philippines. 2 other women chose Germany. They all received psychological support, therapy, medication for insomnia and anxiety. But the memories remained. The faces of Maria, Jessica, and Lena. The sounds of fighting, the screams, the blood. The story leaked to the Western media a year later. Journalists received information from sources in the police. They wrote articles. They made a documentary. The UN demanded a full investigation. It requested a list of all club members. The Emirates responded that the case had been investigated, the guilty parties punished, and the list was not subject to disclosure. International human rights organizations accused the authorities of a cover-up. They said that among the participants were citizens of many countries who should be held accountable. But without an official list, nothing could be done. The investigation reached a dead end. Anna gives interviews to human rights activists once a year. She tells her story. She wants people to know about places like this. She wants people to search for missing women. She wants people not to turn a blind eye. She lives quietly in a Polish city. She works in a massage parlor. She doesn't tell anyone what she went through, only in interviews for documentary projects. Khaled is serving his sentence in prison. He is being held in solitary confinement for his own safety. Other prisoners know his story. They have threatened him with violence. Rashid is in another prison. He gives interviews sometimes. He says he regrets what he did, that he was just doing his job, that he didn't make any decisions. He just followed orders. This is the reality of modern human trafficking. The rich create closed worlds where ordinary laws do not apply. Technology allows crimes to be documented, but connections and money allow people to avoid responsibility. The story of Anna and other women shows that survival is possible even in the most extreme conditions. But the price is always high. If this story made you think about what happens in the closed spaces of power and money, like and subscribe to the channel. Every week we publish investigations into crimes that the authorities are trying to hide. Stories of victims who found the strength to speak out. Share this material if you believe that the truth should be known. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next investigation.